I know you called it morbid, but I've been on the same thought quite a bit as an entrepreneur. I think you think about, if something were to happen to me, what have I put in place for them to not fall in a position backwards, right? So I have that type of thought. I don't want to say regularly, but it definitely is on my mind,
For sure.
regardless of like, got to get the next client because the next client gets this, and then this gets to that, and then that's life insurance. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you start,
absolutely.
it kind of like goes backwards. So for yourself, like, was there, like, when you had your first kid, it was the thought? Was it when you got in a relationship, it was the thought? Like, when exactly did you start thinking about long-term stability for your family when you're not present? And like, how do you kind of keep it as a positive thought versus something that brings you down, thinking about you not being there for them? Like, for me, I struggle with that. It's like, sometimes I think, if I'm not there, damn, man, like, you know? And then other times I'm like, well, I put things in place so that they're okay, better than I was growing up. So like, how do you balance the positivity versus negativity that comes with thinking like something about like that?
Yeah, so to answer your first question, when did I really start thinking about it? My wife and I have been together, we're high school sweethearts. We've been
Nice.
together for 24 years almost.
Congrats, man.
Right?
That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Been married for 13 and a half-ish. So I would say the thought really started happening once we had our first kid. There was always the thought when, you know, we were together and got married, but we were so young then.
Right.
We were really thinking about when we were going to die or when I was going to die.
Right. It's
But-
more of like a tomorrow to,
Correct.
yeah.
You know, but it was more once we had the first kid, and she grew up, Ella. You know, she's almost 11 now, and Olivia's 7. Definitely once the second came, it's like, okay, what do we have in place? God forbid something happened to me or both of us, right, for the kids. So that was important. And again, there's no, everyone's thought on setting up their children is different, right? What does that really mean? It could mean just, you know, paying for college. It could mean making sure they have X amount of money in the bank, or making sure they have a place to live if you pass, right?
Right.
To answer your question about the, you know, whether it's, you know, how do you deal with the struggle on whether it's, you know, oh my God, this is horrible to think
Like
of.
a pit
You
in
know,
your
yeah,
stomach
don't get me
versus-
wrong.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that is always, I think, whenever I have this discussion or this thinking with myself more than anyone, it's that it's always there, whether you try to kind of push it off or not. Because at the end of the day, you know, you don't know how long you're gonna live for, right? You could live for, yeah, exactly. You know, I'm 38, I'll be 39 in August. You can live till you're 40. You can live till you're 50. You can live till you're 90, right? It's, you know, I'm not the type of person that lives every day. It's like my last. Like,
Right.
I'm not this thrill-seeking
Yeah,
individual.
yeah.
But again, you know, you see it all the time. You talk to somebody a week ago, and then, you know, you get news that they passed away, and you're like, where did that came out of nowhere? And it puts life into perspective.
Very much, yeah.
So we don't live every day like it's our last, but I try not to take every day for granted, right? And, you know, you have things to look forward to in a week, a month, or this, but, you know, live in the moment every day, and be happy that you have that day, that you wake up every morning, that you're healthy, that you have a roof on your head, that you have a successful business or whatever, a successful job, a loving family. I think that's important. We live in such a fast-paced, go, you know, environment in society that it's easy to take that for granted. You know?
Yeah. It's interesting to watch how for granted you can take a relationship till it's not there, and then it makes you reflect on all your relationships, and then you're sitting there kind of like, for me anyway, my buddy just got started in life insurance, and he's hitting me up, and he's like, hey man, you gotta do this and trust in this, and I'm for it. I'm not against it by any means, you know, but I find myself sitting there and being like, wow, this is a genuine thought now. Like, this is actual preparation you gotta put in place, you know. And thankfully I invest and I do okay in terms of like that stuff, but you look at like, this is the moment that I had. I was sitting on Christmas, and like, I wake up early. I'm a 3-4 o'clock in the morning type of guy. Like, I love, because I feel like I missed the day.
Yeah.
You know, so I got to wake up early, hit my run, take my cold shower, like that type of deal. And then get the work done before they wake up because I
Yeah.
want to homeschool my son, that type of deal,
Fair
you know?
enough, yeah.
So I'm sitting back, it's like 3:30, 4 o'clock morning, Christmas Day, and I'm just looking in the living room as I'm looking at the Christmas tree. I'm like, wow, like, I grew up okay, but like the last Christmas I remember having with my parents is like a unit, I got a Pokemon shirt. That was it, like just one Pokemon shirt, you know? And I'm sitting back looking at this tree, and now, you know, my son is 7, my daughter's 17, and you know, we've had some years of like consistent good Christmases
Yeah,
and good ties. And I had to stop back for a second because I found myself being like, because the life insurance stuff got me like thinking like, oh, I gotta, and I had to stop and be like, look at where we're at.
Yeah.
You have the home, this presence under the tree, everybody's sleeping in warm rooms, like cold showers. Like when I was growing up, cold showers, he wasn't always guaranteed, you know what I mean? Like we lived out of our car, like that type of stuff. So, you know, I find it, like, I think one of the reasons why I was so interested in talking to you was because I felt like you didn't come from a place of it was given to you,
No, not
it
at
was
all.
earned.